The crooks then knocked over shelves and mannequins before frantically grabbing whatever they could carry while store employees looked on helplessly. The employees can't do anything. If they do, they get arrested. If they take a video of them, they get arrested. If they try to stop them, they get arrested. The store employees. You know, the Bible tells us there's going to come a time in life where what's good is bad and bad is good. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. Welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. As always, people, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to God for that, because in my case, He certainly deserves it, and I'm sure it's the same for many of you sitting out there. You know, today I want to get into a subject that's extremely upsetting to me, and I'm sure it's going to be upsetting to many of you out there, and I'm sure it's even more upsetting to the people that are victims of this and are experiencing such turmoil in our cities throughout this country. And it's all happened in the last couple of years. And you know, people, you got to put the blame where the blame is due. That's it. You got to hold people accountable for this. Whether you like them, you dislike them, you got to hold them accountable, because the only way you stop things when they're going bad is to hold the people that are causing it accountable and have them have consequences. And if they're in a position to continue causing this, you have to get rid of them. That's it, because it is becoming a real epidemic across the country. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about crime in the major cities. And some of these things that I'm reading, I was a criminal for 20 years, and I'm shocked at some of the things that I'm seeing. I never thought it would get to this level. I'm being very honest with you, as honest as I possibly can be with you. And again, I'm no stranger to criminal activity, but I've never seen it to this degree, to this point. And it's very upsetting. Why is it upsetting? Because I have people that I love that live in these cities. I have 7 children. I have 6 grandchildren that grow up and have to be safe on the streets. I want them to be safe on the streets. And when I hear this rampant crime going on and very little that is being done to dissuade it and stop it, it's extremely upsetting. And I want something to be done. And you know what gets me more than anything? It's a lot of the progressive cities that this is happening in. And people in those cities now are starting to rise up and complain because their loved ones are being affected by it. But you know what gets me? I can guarantee these same people will vote the same way next time around. It's like the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If the party that you're supporting is not doing the job and making things unsafe for you, why are you putting them back in office? It doesn't matter what your ideology is. You got to go to the people that are going to do the right job. You can't keep going back to the same thing. Cities like New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, Oakland, California. It's dangerous to live in these cities now. And who's telling us this? The people living in these cities. We're not from the outside looking in. We're hearing it from the inside who's reporting it to the outside. So what are we going to do about it? We got to do something about it come this next election. And I'm not talking about Trump. Don't people right away start throwing Trump. Listen, Trump is getting what he deserved if he deserved it. Now, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is at all. But I'm saying, what more do you want to do to Trump? Okay? He's been impeached twice. He's indicted 3 times, probably a 4th time. He's been the most investigated guy since 2016 in the history of politics. What more do you want to do to him? We're talking about right now what's happening, who are we going to hold accountable for this, and how are we going to make changes. That's it. Now let me read this to you. Very upsetting. Mob of almost 50 people. 50. This is an organized crime mob. Steals up to $100,000 of merchandise from LA's Nordstrom during broad daylight robbery. This is not the first time. Let me read it. A mob of crooks stole tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise from a Los Angeles Nordstrom during a wild smash-and-grab style raid that included the thieves attacking security guards with bear spray. Did you hear what I just said? 50 people walk into a Nordstrom, steal as much as they possibly can, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise, get to the security guards, hit them with bear spray, and leave. The crowd of nearly 50 people dressed in hoods and masks descended onto the luxury clothing store in the Topanga Mall, I'm very familiar with that mall, at about 4 p.m. on Saturday, mid-afternoon, and snatched pricey bags and clothing before hightailing it to the exits, according to police. Do you know how many department stores are closing their doors now because of the theft? Do you know how many? And it continues. These people don't even get locked up, and if they do, they get out the next day with no bail. And there's not enough police now to police them because they're defunding the police, and the morale of the police department is so low, they don't want to work for the police department anymore. This is insanity. Do you understand this? Are you going to vote these people back in office? You're victims of this. You're victims. Let me continue. The incident was just the latest brazen robbery attempt at a clothing store in this city. LA is becoming, in some places it's unlivable. It's not safe and it's unlivable. And it's not half as bad as San Francisco, Oakland, or Stockton, California. Not half, but bad. Footage from the scene showed the chaos within the store as the thieves darted between aisles and smashed display cases because they're grabbing the merchandise. 50 of them. Now imagine the people in the store. Of course, they were horrified. Women shopping with their kids, horrified to see this going on. And God forbid they get in their way. They get knocked out of the way or they get hurt themselves. The crooks then knocked over shelves and mannequins before frantically grabbing whatever they could carry while store employees looked on helplessly. The employees can't do anything. If they do, they get arrested. If they take a video of them, they get arrested. If they try to stop them, they get arrested. The store employees. You know, the Bible tells us there's going to come a time in life where what's good is bad and bad is good. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. After grabbing between $60,000 and $100,000 worth of goods, the crew fled in several cars, including a BMW and a Lexus, cops said, meaning this was well planned, well organized. This is organized crime. This is the new mafia. At least one guard was doused with bear spray, which causes violent eye and respiratory irritations in humans. The guard was treated by paramedics. To criminals, it's just property taken, the Los Angeles Department said in a statement. And this is not the police department's fault. They're handcuffed. It's not their fault. It's the people in charge. It's not their fault. To those who live in the area and patronize the Topanga Mall, it is a loss of feeling safe. What's more important than feeling safe when you're walking down the street? The LAPD will exhaust all efforts to bring those responsible into custody and seek criminal prosecution. They'll try, but they're going to be handcuffed, by the district attorney's office. You know, the district attorney, the same one that we have as a vice president right now, because they're progressive here. They don't want to lock people up. They're more sympathetic to the criminal than they are to the victim. Crazy. It's turned upside down. Saturday's robbery was only the most recent of its kind to rock Los Angeles. It's happening frequently. Do you understand that? Just days earlier, at about 5 p.m. Tuesday, up to 30 people raided an Yves Saint Laurent store just over 20 miles west at the Brand Shopping Center in Glendale. Very familiar. A lot of Armenians live there. Good people, family people. My partner's Armenian in Franzese wine. The Brand Mall is a big one. These are peace-loving people. They can't even go to their mall because they got to worry that a bunch of guys are going to come in and start stealing and maybe knock them to the ground. Who knows what's going to happen? You don't know. Crooks in that nearly identical attack took about $300,000 in goods from the store. It remains unclear whether the incidents were carried out by the same suspects, according to police. What are we going to do, people? What are we going to do? Let me read you something else from Washington, D.C. This is unbelievable. This is from Washington, D.C. Quickly. The capital of the most powerful and prosperous country to ever grace the earth is an unpleasant and unlivable place to call home. Washington, D.C. It's an unlivable and unpleasant place to call home. Our nation's capital. Joe Biden isn't worried about it. Neither is any member of Congress because they are in their cushiony, perfect, well-secured, well-protected properties there, paid for by the very citizens that are afraid to walk the streets in the same city. And you're going to vote the same people back in office? Really? Over the past decade, Washington, D.C. has transformed from a beautiful, bustling, and vibrant metropolis into a city that often feels like a ripoff of Batman's Gotham City. Between 2013 and 2019, D.C. recorded between 104 and 166 homicides per year. In the 3 full years since, it's recorded 198, 223, and 203 murders. And this is a small city, Washington, D.C. The murder rate keeps going up in our nation's capital. Our administration doesn't even care what's going on in their own city as long as it doesn't affect them behind their iron castle gates. You're going to put them back in office? This year, it's on pace to bear witness to 256 murders. Keeps going up. All this has been accompanied by skyrocketing crime rates across the board. Washington, D.C. The capital has already far eclipsed the staggering number of carjackings that took place there last year. Worse yet, only 80 arrests have been made in connection with 2023's 606 carjackings so far. 83 arrests, 606 carjackings. And I guarantee out of those 80 arrests, hardly none of them are in jail. We're not even looking at that stat because they put them out on bail right away, if they even have bail. Prospects are so bleak that Trayan White Sr., a Democratic city councilman who originally voted to lower the criminal penalties, smart guy, lower the penalties for a number of serious infractions, including carjacking and armed carjacking, is now calling for the National Guard's intervention in the carnage. Oh, so now he wakes up, right? Does it take a brain surgeon? Do you have to be an Einstein to understand that if you lower criminal penalties for criminal, that the crime rate is going to go up? What are these people thinking? What are they thinking? I don't understand this. These are the people you put in office. And you know what? You'll vote them back in again. I guarantee you'll vote them back in again, because that's the definition of insanity. Imagine telling someone now they want the National Guard because they defunded the police. They don't want any police there, but now they want to call in the National Guard because it's out of control. Boy, I wonder how they didn't figure that out. This is the people that we put in office. They're watching you and your families, and they're taking care of our welfare. This is a joke, people. Imagine telling someone in June 2020, amidst the gnashing of teeth that accompanied Senator Tom Cotton's call for the National Guard's use then, that a little over 3 years later, Democrats would be pining for the same. So 3 years ago, it was bad. And what do? They defund the police. They're easier on crime. And now it's worse. Well, of course it's going to get worse. I'm tired of burying our children, White told the press this week. Well, you're responsible for it, Mr. White. You're the one that voted to ease it up on criminals. If you're tired of it, why did you cause it in the first place? Yes, I'm annoyed over this, and yes, I'm upset because you're endangering people's lives. We didn't do that on the street. Yeah, okay, we killed our own. We didn't do that on the street. We didn't go after innocent people. You're causing this. We're too comfortable with the state of our city. We must take action to gain control and protect our residents. This is the same thing that's going on now in all the sanctuary cities that wanted to let all the immigrants in, and now they're starting to complain. But not one of them have the backbone enough to go to Washington and tell Biden, close the damn borders. Not one of them, because they don't care. The sanctuary cities that were complaining, that the borders were closed. Now that the borders are open and immigrants are being flooded into their cities, now that they're complaining, but I don't see them going to Washington and protest. And you know what, people? I'm sorry to say it. You'll put them back in office. You will vote them back in office because, again, it's the definition of insanity. The violence and liberal backlash to it are hardly contained to the Capitol. Oakland is on track to double the number of assaults and triple the number of carjacking cases in the city from 2019. Oakland, California. Why do you think the teams are leaving there? It's too dangerous. You don't even want to go to a game there. It's the NAACP chapter that has minced no words in assigning blame for this sorry state of affairs. The NAACP, now they wake up. Failed leadership, including the movement to defund the police, our district attorney's unwillingness to charge and prosecute people who murder and commit life-threatening serious crimes, and the proliferation of anti-police rhetoric have created a heyday for Oakland criminals, asserted the progressive group in a letter. Progressive group, the ones that had the biggest complaints about police and now are begging for the police to come back. Is this, again, brain surgery? You lower the penalties. You don't lock people up. There are no consequences. You don't hold them accountable. What do you think is going to happen? But you'll vote them back in office. Guaranteed. People are moving out of Oakland in droves. They're moving out of California in droves. They're afraid to venture out of their homes to go to work, shop, or dine. And listen, this has all happened in the last couple of years in the Biden administration. Biden should be held accountable, and all the progressives, okay, that he supports and that support him. They're the ones that should be held accountable for this because they're causing it. Wake up, people. Wake up. Anybody that tells you they're progressive but don't care about dealing with violent crimes are not declared Sharpton. Al Sharpton. Here we go with Sharpton now. He's finally woken up. The biggest anti-police guy that there is. The biggest guy that's always crying racism and everything else. He's leading the charge. Now even he's waking up. Well, you know what, Al? I know you, and it's a little too late, my friend. You could have saved a lot of lives by telling the truth and stopped race baiting, because that's what you're known for. You did it on the street, and now you're doing it with a shirt and tie. Okay? The guys that were around you know you a little bit better. Yes, and I am upset because a lot of people are dying and afraid to walk out of their house. Businesses are closing. Places are going bankrupt, all because you want to be soft on crime and defund the police. And yeah, this is a former mobster telling you this. It's pathetic. You're labeled progressive, but your action is regressive. No, every progressive action is regressive, including yours, Al Sharpton. Including yours, and you know it. Look in the mirror and face up to it and be honest with the people that you've been race baiting for years. All this follows Eric Adams' ascension to Gracie Mansion on the strength of his tough-on-crime image in 2021 and San Francisco's ejection of progressive prosecutor Chelsea Bowden last year. As the Golden City's bleeding heart liberal mayor, London Breed, put it in a famous rant in late 2021, it's time for the reign of criminals who are destroying our city to end. Yeah, but you caused it. You caused it. Look in the mirror and face up to it and take responsibility. All of you. You caused it. It's not the police. It's you. You caused it. Both she and law enforcement, she said, needed to be less tolerant of all the bull S that has destroyed our city that you caused. Hear, hear. Breed's fellow progressives may be too late to notice the rampant lawlessness, rendering America's cities unrecognizable, but their change in heart should nonetheless be celebrated. You know what? I'm not celebrating it. I'm just saying, it's about time. Do something about it. People, don't trust them. Vote them out of office. Vote them out of office. Don't trust them. Put law in order, people that are going to protect you and protect your cities and protect our businesses. City dwellers should be optimistic about progressives' increasingly firm grip on reality. They had no grip on reality before. What are they thinking they were capitalized? Were they looking for the criminals' vote? Criminals don't vote. They don't vote. What were you doing? It's the people that you serve that vote, and you're not serving them well. Polling last month showed 70% of New Yorkers are still very or somewhat concerned that they may soon be the name behind another crime statistic, but New Yorkers, I love you. My home state, born and raised, family there. You caused it by putting these people in office, and you'll vote them in again. I guarantee it, because it's the definition of insanity. You need to vote these people out of office. They're lying to you. They just want your vote. They don't worry. They're protected. They have security on your dime. So by all means, give the new liberal crime hawks a round of applause for their stated intentions, but don't let them off the hook if their actions don't ultimately mirror their rhetoric. No, I disagree. Vote them out of office. They've lied to you. They've betrayed your trust, and they'll do it again. These people are not for you. They don't care. They live in their ivory towers. They have their security. They go on their private planes. They have nothing to worry about, okay? Don't trust them. Vote them the hell out of office. That's it. Yes, I'm excited, people, but you know what? I am concerned about my kids and people in my community and everyday people that are out there trying to make a living and protect their families. I am concerned. I have a heart for that. And I've been expressing it for the last 25 years. So don't trust them. Vote them the heck out of office. They don't deserve your vote or your trust or your money that you pay in taxes for them to protect you and defend you the right way. That's it. I'm done. How do I always leave you people? Same way. Be safe. If you can, in these cities that these people that you voted into office made unsafe, okay? And now you have to work harder to protect yourself and the people that you love. Be safe. Be healthy. That you can take care of. And yes, And I mean this, people. God bless each and every one of you, because you need God's blessing in this environment, in those cities that I've named. And people, I'm telling you, do not trust them. Vote them out of office and put people in there that are responsible and will take care of your health, your family, and will protect you and your lives and the businesses that you rely on. And yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.